Hi, kids. You might know me. My name is Mildred Butterpump. Do not be alarmed. All cows can talk, but the difference is that I talk better than most cows.
Oh, so it's gonna be one of those reviews, huh? Well, alright, I'm ready for this. Let's get on going. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pickles of all ages, here we are. It's time to finally talk about KidMo with Johnny Rogers. I have a lot of experience with this thing because, believe it or not, my church actually used this. For those of you who don't know what it is, well, let me introduce you. KidMo with Johnny Rogers is basically What's in the Bible Church Edition before What's in the Bible Church Edition was What's in the Bible Church Edition. It's a Sunday school program, or rather, it's a series of Sunday school programs, all of them about Johnny Rogers going on crazy adventures in the army, with superheroes, on the farm, on an Amelia Earhart hunt, and so many more. It's time to talk about what makes this thing tick, because once you see KidMo, you're never going to be able to unsee it. Trust me, I know, I've had years of seeing it. By the way, this is a Patreon raffle review requested by Rezeal. If you two would like your Media Mementos idea to come to fruition, consider donating to our Patreon, which has a link in the description below. It's only like $2, so yeah, just throwing that out there. So KidMo has a pretty straightforward program. Every KidMo program lasts 5 episodes unless it's themed around a holiday like, say, Easter or Christmas, then it's 3, although my church only played 2. I don't really know why. I mean, you paid $50 for KidMo, you might as well play the whole thing, right? Get your money's worth. Yeah, just so you guys know, I'm gonna be bringing up a lot of stories about my experience with KidMo, so yeah, if you don't like that, sorry. Every single episode basically has the same structure. Just like most church services, it starts off with worship. KidMo has its own original songs and it usually plays about 3 to 4 per each episode. And because they're all originals, they vary greatly in quality. You got some weird, hokey ones like the superhero song, you got some decent, albeit kinda generic ones like Shining Like a Light, and you've also got the really good standout ones like Big Parade or Give 'Em Praise.
My God is big, the one who created earth and sky, and like a blinding light, shining like a light, living like a light. Give him praise, look for ways to give him praise, everybody praise him.
Once that's done, Johnny introduces us to what's about to happen, then we get the KidMo theme song, then we go right into a very strange skit involving Johnny and whatever co-star he's dragged along. I don't know who wrote this, Johnny, or a crack team of writers, or whatever, but whoever they were need to be given a good pat on the back because, wow, they did it! They made a Christian thing that is so bizarre, so insane, so off the wall, but it actually makes sense and is legitimately educational. Whenever Johnny is doing something in his skits here, he always makes sure that the lesson comes first. Although, he doesn't forget to make it entertaining, but he knows his priorities. Each of these segments flows directly into the next one until the end of the week. They have the story completely resolved. Also worth noting is that every KidMo program has its own lesson. You've got things like what it means to be a real hero, how to have faith, or, I don't know if you guys could tell this, but the Bephesians program is about the book of Ephesians. I know, right? It's like impossible to figure that out. But if you think the surrealism ends with these, oh no, we haven't even started yet. So we've got things like Learn It, Link It, Live It, where Johnny teaches us the lesson and how to apply it to our everyday lives, which it may be for kids, but I think it's pretty well done. He's able to explain all the proper points to the audience without pandering to them or without taking too much of their time. So he's able to really use his short window of time quite well.
Did you know that the name Christian means little Christ? That means we act like Jesus would act, with our friends, with our family, everywhere we go.
Good job, Johnny! You're doing what a lot of mainstream kids shows fail to do every single time. But it's not so straightforward as Learn It, Link It, Live It. No, because there are some weird things that get thrown in between. Seemingly at random, we'll get things like this.
Hello. Patch the prairie dog here. The other day I was sitting in my sweet little hole by myself, listening to the Bible on audio tapes, because as you know, prairie dogs can't read.
That's not a gag I made for Media Mementos. That is actually in KidMo, and that stuff happens all the time. You'll hear Johnny talk about why it's important to forgive people even when you're really, really mad at them, and then they go right to a Bible story that's being told entirely by fingers. Not finger puppets. Fingers. These, more often than not, don't really have anything to do with the lesson. Of course, the finger thing definitely does, but when you get things like if cows could talk or if prairie dogs could talk, there's a lot of if blank could talk, by the way. It's just silly, wacky fun, and that's about it. It's meant to be a little bit of a break for the audience, because if they're just being bashed over the head with educational material for a half hour straight, they're not gonna care. They're not gonna pay attention at all. Let's face it, you know what it was like being a kid, right? Well, I'm sure you do. Either you are a kid now or you have been one once, so yeah. Do you remember how hard it was to pay attention in school, or hey, sometimes even Sunday school if you grew up with that? Well, Johnny does, and he doesn't want you to go through that. So that's why at complete random, these things will pop up just to make sure that you're paying attention. So that way you're constantly watching the screen waiting for another one to pop up because you never know when something weird's gonna happen. But then bam! Memory Max! Time to learn that memory verse, kids! Okay, on to more educational stuff. Ha! Psych! Here's another talking cow.
You think I like being milked? You think I like laying around and eating grass all day? Well, I do.
But once again, KidMo will do another subversion. Here, for example, is their video of the Last Supper. You're expecting this to be another Pat's the Prairie Dog thing where they do something totally wacky and silly, but no, it's just an animated telling of, well, the Last Supper. There's no real joke, there's no real twist, there's no anything. It's just the story being told in a semi-animated form. Once again, KidMo uses its surrealism to its advantage. Kids are gonna keep paying attention to this because they're waiting for that punchline to come in, but it never will. But I remember when I was a kid, I was never disappointed by this. No. I still found it really interesting. Maybe that's because I had a short attention span when I was little, but I don't know. A lot of the other kids seem to agree with me, so I think they did something right. Here's a little bit of a story time here. The only time I and the rest of my Sunday school class was disappointed with KidMo was the last episode in the program, Soar. The whole thing was about Johnny going around trying to find this Amelia Earhart knockoff, and at the end, he doesn't. He gets stranded too. And we all hated that because we thought it was a cheap ending. I don't think we really understood the joke, but hey, we did throw shoes at the pastor, so there's that. I really wish I was kidding, but no, that's something we did. I was like 8, maybe. There's that old saying, life is like a box of chocolates, you know? You never know what you're gonna get. But that perfectly describes KidMo. All you really know is what the lesson and overall theme is gonna be. Like, obviously, when you pick up AIM, you know, oh, it's gonna be about the military. When you pick up SOAR, oh, it's gonna be about flying. When you pick up SmackDown, gee, I wonder what it's gonna be. You don't know what songs you're gonna get, you don't know what randomness is about to happen, and you don't know who's gonna win at the end of the game. Oh yeah, maybe I forgot to mention that KidMo is also a game. It rewards you for paying attention. At the end of every episode of KidMo, the pastor's supposed to divide everybody up into teams, and then they're going to be quizzed about what happened in the show. Who said what? What is the lesson of this? What is the compass point verse? All that sort of stuff. Now, it really depends on the pastor here, but whoever wins gets some kind of reward usually, like a piece of candy, or a high five, or they don't have to go in the dungeon. That one was always my favorite. KidMo thought to do this when a lot of other programs didn't. And once again, just goes to show how thinking outside the box really helps you pay off. Now sadly, it looks like KidMo is no longer in production. How do I know this? Well, given the fact that their website hasn't been updated to remove Flash, and also there have been no new episodes posted since, 2012? It appears that KidMo is no longer active, which is a real shame. I think that now, we need Johnny Rogers more than ever. If even VeggieTales can go stale and predictable, boring and dull, then I think that KidMo is desperately needed. But maybe it doesn't have to be a Sunday school program, maybe it could be an actual show. Let's face it, Johnny and his friends did a whole lot with very little. It's clear that their budget was not super high, but you don't care. Sometimes you don't even notice. Everybody on board was not only having a ton of fun with this stuff, but they also cared tremendously, and it shows with the way that KidMo turned out. With every single program that I've seen, it was always educational, wacky, silly, entertaining, and overall an enjoyable experience. Now, I as an adult can't really learn from KidMo. I mean, this is pretty basic stuff here. It doesn't go super deep or make you have an existential crisis, but that's fine. KidMo isn't really for me. I'm 23 years old. I'm a little bit out of their intended demographic, but still, I enjoyed it. For one, it was nice to go back to my childhood again because I loved these as a kid. I would always be super excited to go to Sunday school to see what crazy situation Johnny and his friends were going to get himself into next. But then, of course, the church ended up deciding to stop using KidMo, and I was quite disappointed. But that was okay because I was going to be moving into youth group in about a month, so everything was going to be alright. Yeah! But also, revisiting KidMo made me really appreciate its surrealism. I've said it a lot already, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but they didn't have to do this. They could have literally just been, hey kids, it's time to learn about sharing. Sharing is good. Okay, the end. Johnny Rogers! That's really all it could have been. Sometimes Christian markets are very, very easy to sell things to. All you gotta do is have a cohesive God message and you're gonna sell a lot of tickets or copies or whatever you're selling, I guess. So they didn't have to try, but they did. And they tried very hard, using surrealism as a perfect tool to teach kids all about the good book, something that I haven't quite seen replicated ever since. Some shows like Bible Man most certainly tried, but for reasons we'll get into whenever we talk about that show, it didn't really work out so well. Either way though, KidMo really was something special, something crazy, but special nonetheless. Well, folks, thanks for watching the video. What'd you guys think? Have you ever seen KidMo? Are you interested in seeing KidMo? I mean, if you are, you might just have to buy the DVDs because finding footage is very, very difficult. Luckily, I have my own because I got that at Goodwill for $1. Woo! That's actually what made me want to do this thing again. That and also the Patreon raffle request. Still though, point stands. Anyways, comment below and let me know because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. Real quick, I'd like to thank our Patreon executive producers, Leaf Razor, Rezeal, Sophie Burgers, Tanner Kapishki, and Azarius. If you too would like your name read at the end of every Media Mementos episode, then consider donating to our Patreon, which has a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time where we're going into Halloween month, Oktoberfest, Spooktacular October, whatever you want to call it. We don't have a name for it, we just have a theme. Alright, everybody. See you guys. I got some more recording to do. I love recording Halloween videos in the middle of summer. Yeah!